Is Liam okay?
No.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Friends by Dragons.
What?
Dungeons by Default.
Friends by Default and Dragons.
Friends by Default and Dragons. I'm your dungeon master, Zach, here to start another fun adventure.
All right.
You said to introduce it, and this is my only
I didn't know
way.
you were gonna do it like that.
Well, okay.
Hi, for those of you who listen regularly, this is now the second episode of our very special D&D podcast, where we just take a little side break from our normal stuff, and then we go and Zach over there has a little campaign
I need you guys to enjoy this campaign.
that he needs us to enjoy.
I physically cannot live unless you enjoy it.
If you haven't, you may want to check out the first episode of it. It'll be labeled D&D Special Episode 1, and that is where you will be able to know like all the characters and what the campaign is. And for this one, we're just going to pretty much go straight into it. So,
All right. So
but first, like, should we introduce ourselves?
yeah, quick recap. Going clockwise. Go ahead, Matt. Introduce your character and you. Your first name. Your actual you.
Yeah, I'm Matt. Don't really know what else.
You're going to want to put the mic closer.
If only there's a mic stand, but I guess I'm in amateur hour now. So, oh well. Guess I'll wait.
Okay. For those who know, Yaskovich
took his mic.
Yaskovich took his mic stand. I don't know if it was out of spite or...
We'll just say it was. So Matt is the one without the mic stand, and he's playing
I'm playing
Roscoe
Toscobble.
Roscoe Toscobble,
A
the
little-
halfling shadow sorcerer.
Mhm.
Then across from me is Brooks.
I am Brooks. I'm playing Locke up in the sky, the Birdman,
the monk Birdman.
the monk Birdman.
And then we have our final guest, Spivey.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's me.
also,
Also known as Bradley.
yeah,
But
Yeah, his real
Spivey.
name.
his real name
But
isn't.
not Brad. It's never
Oh,
Brad.
never Brad.
Playing as Bareth, who is the half-orc wizard.
Yes.
And
I'm glad everyone else had the chance to introduce themselves, but you did it entirely for me.
well, do you want to try it
Well,
again?
it's a little late now, isn't
What
it?
about Brattles?
I will fucking murder you.
Anyway, let's get back to a little recap of what happened before. You guys did the trials, you got your boys, and then you were pushed a bit or slapped. I think you were slapped by
it was a-
Giuseppe.
Should we also recap our boys and what we?
Yeah,
like-
go ahead. What do each of you guys? What did you do with your boys? Did you find out what your boys did?
No, we have yet to find out the.
Yeah,
boss'
we just
powers.
basically got them and
Okay.
like the info.
You
and
got
everything.
them. You went past the bear skeleton, and now you are in
Yes.
this clearing. There was a waterfall before, but now it is a cave-in with a skeleton with its back up against the cave-in.
Okay.
In tattered rags, no big deal. Just a regular skeleton. So what do you want to do?
We gotta move those rocks.
I think we might want to find a better way. That might take a while,
True.
and
Sure.
we'll probably starve to death before we can actually, get out.
So I think like what we really need to do right now is try to find some kind of alternate exit to this place.
Okay, so do you want to roll for that?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I have the only dice.
No, you don't.
Oh, is there another?
Was.
Oh, I see Orozco has took it off. Shit!
Oh yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
rolled a
You're.
low perception.
Oh no, Zach, you lost your die. Again.
Okay, so my idea was to go back to like the end chamber because that's always where the secret passages are.
Right.
I know how Skyrim works. I got. Am I doing investigation or perception?
Go ahead and what are you trying to do?
Here.
I'm going back to like Giuseppe's like the main workshop part, and I'm looking for a secret entrance, like an exit there.
Okay, so you head all the way back up, and you're going through everything, and you're looking through each of the desks, just finding maybe a hidden compartment here or there, but there's nothing in the hidden compartment. It's
Again, I'm not looking at the hidden. I'm looking for like a
An
way
exit.
out.
Yeah.
an
Not-
exit. So
I'm
you're
not, like-
scaling the walls, just like feeling up against them. Aside from just feeling some gross mildewy moss here and there doesn't seem to be anything in the back cavern that has weight.
Well then,
I'm gonna make a little roll also. Well, that's a 7.
About the same, except you
Yeah.
did it in the bear's room. Kind of like shifted the skeleton bones around and everything like that. Just
Maybe there's a secret door with these bones. No, none.
Well, look at that. The Birdman comes to the rescue.
Birdman
It's
cometh.
the Birdman cometh.
The drunk
Investigation is a -1, so that's a 16 total.
By some sheer amount of luck, while Roscoe is looking at the top floor, Barrett is looking at the middle floor, you have the lowest floor all to yourself.
Yes.
And while flying around with just trying to keep away from your boy, your real scary wooden boy,
I accepted him.
you have accepted your
I have
wooden boy.
accepted him.
Would he be riding on your back in a way?
That's gonna take some more getting used to.
So you're just flying and like the boy.
Yeah, I'm not trying.
Or?
I'm not trying to avoid him. I don't know if I trust him enough to put him on my back yet.
I feel like you're trying to convince yourself you've accepted him, and you actually haven't accepted him.
That's probably more accurate.
Okay. So as you're doing that, you find in one of the little side chambers where the braziers were burning brightly, there is now a crumbled like crack in the wall that seems to have a little bit of breeze coming out of it. And you can feel it with your man bird feathers,
They're just called feathers.
if you want to call them that.
Is there any sunlight coming through it?
Not that you can see, but you can feel a breeze, and that's, from what you can guess, is the best bet you've got.
I call the other two over to here to see if they can feel the breeze as well.
How high is the? How high is it up?
It extends from the ground like about, I'm gonna say about 5 feet up, and then just stops. above
How wide is it? Like how big is the opening?
them. It
itself?
isn't much of a crack. It is like you can see into it, but
Right.
you gotta finagle with it if you're gonna do anything. You can't just squeeze into a crack without doing anything to it.
All right. Okay, so my boy, hang on. Yours is just like a lime and something else just rotating.
A lime
It's a
and
lemon
a lemon.
and a lime.
A lemon and a lime
Yeah.
rotating and everything. That's probably the smallest thing we have. Like, what does yours do again? Can it like transform or shapeshift or
I
anything?
mean, I have a purple salamander.
Purple salamander? How
Isn't
big
it
is the
I
salamander?
believe it's a big like a.
It's almost as big as me.
Oh, okay.
Oh right,
and
but
I-
you're a
yeah,
halfling, so
and
it's.
I'm about like 3 feet.
Yeah.
I just look over and there's like a very
I will
large.
say you can ride the salamander, but there's no buffs or debuffs to it. You're just sitting on top of it,
There's
like a
a-
little mini mount.
There's a very large dog-sized salamander right there. So I look at your boy. I'm like, that's probably the smallest like sentient thing we have.
Might
So-
fit through. Yeah.
So yeah, I say we send it through.
I mean, they have powers, but we haven't figured out the powers.
What
they
are the
have.
powers?
I don't know.
That is for you guys to decide. Do you want to
I
test them
I
out?
turn to Purif and I'm like, what are your powers?
And Pure looks at you, looks to the side, looks back at you, puts his arms up like, oh.
Okay, so here's a very important question that I need answered because last time you said that he had real human eyes and real human hair. Does he have a real human mouth?
Yes, but he has not opened it yet.
Okay,
So it's just a slit. You don't know if he has teeth in there or not.
I don't want to know, but I need to know
Okay.
because I need him to speak to me, and I like kneel down. I'm like, I need you to start, like whatever you need to start doing, like whatever truth you need to stand in order to figure out your powers to help us get out of here. I need you to start standing in it now.
Can you just make a roll for me? I'm gonna make my own DC for this because it's not animal handling. It's like.
Isn't it like persuasion or
I guess
something?
yeah, you know what? It would be persuasion. Let's stick with that.
Okay. That's a 10.
So as you're talking to him, you remember that in your head you heard the word Purif, which is the boy's name, and that's like all he can communicate to you. He can't externally say anything else, and he's just like his eyes are telling you, I don't know what else you want from me.
Okay, so I'm getting a vibe from this guy's personality that he's not malevolent, and that is good so far and everything. He seems a bit more squeamish than I would like he's more like a Pinocchio and not really like a Chucky doll or everything, and that's making me happy.
Oh, wait, isn't yours
It
aggressive and tough?
It is aggressive and tough.
I didn't write that down. I gotta write down aggressive and tough. That was
My hope is that he's squeamish in everything except battle, then he becomes very aggressive and tough.
What is everybody else's thing for their boy? Just so I can write that down without messing up their
Characterization?
Yeah.
My salamander is very suave and also tough.
Oh, a tough suave.
And mine's a combination of the two, suave and aggressive.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
That's a concerning one.
We have only 3 personality traits between all of our boys, and they all just swap them back and forth.
But okay, so are you No, you were talking to your boy.
Yes, and then I was also suggesting that Bareth send their boy through the crack.
Okay, so is that what you're going to do? You're going to try to send your
I'm
little
gonna
lemon
try,
lime
yeah,
boy.
I'll try to send him through. Yeah.
Okay, how are you going to do this? I want to see how you're going to
Oh,
coax
boy.
this.
So I'm just gonna look, kind of turn to it and looking. Just go and do it. I don't know what to do. Just do it.
You're just are you like shoving him or
Just helping it along.
Like
Not like I don't want to say shove. Like I'm not
Okay.
like shoving it into the
Just
crack.
a gentle
Just, like,
nudge.
okay?
Shoving
So
into it.
as it goes into the crack a little bit, you see like I'm gonna say it has a little bit of a glow around it, a green and yellow glow orbiting its lemon lime body, and it gets about halfway through the crack and turns back to you and just waits because it doesn't want to leave you. It seems it just
Oh man.
and it like starts like alternating very quickly, like it's trying to communicate something to you, but all you hear in your mind is Expen.
Wait, what?
That's its
Is
name,
the
right?
name.
I hear in my mind.
Yeah, in your mind, it just keeps saying Expen to you.
Is your thing saying its name in your brain like mine? Because
Yeah.
mine's been doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. So try to coax it. Try to
just
coax it like as far like into the crack as possible, and we'll see how deep it is by like how much light, like when the light gets like the dimmest and everything.
I wanted you to just
I-
roll a wisdom or intelligence.
Oh,
Just
okay. Well, that would be a 9.
okay. So,
So not very good.
well, you can tell that it is only saying its name, but you can't.
It must mean something.
It must mean something, and it doesn't seem like it has a lot of thought behind it either. You're just like it's just saying its name over and over.
I'm gonna walk closer to the crack and like, is it large enough for me to like reach my arm into?
Yeah,
I'm gonna like reach my arm and then like be like, it's okay, it's okay.
and it just keeps saying Expen over and over.
Hmm.
So
I don't know what
that
you
is-
want from me.
that-
Just go forward. Just go forward and try to find an exit. It's not working, is it?
Well, it goes a little bit farther, but then it turns towards you again, and it waits, saying Expen over and over. But only you're the only one who can hear it.
Right.
And then we'll just move over to Roscoe to see if you can solve my crack in the wall puzzle.
Don't.
Don't frame it like that.
If you can solve my hole in the wall riddle.
It's just the same. Anyway.
I'll be. I like to imagine I'm sitting there like with Viola, kind of like I've gotten off
Yeah.
the giant salamander. I'm kind of like standing there watching as the bird talks to his little real boy, and the half orc is patting and nudging and encouraging the lemon lime. I kind of want to look at Viola and go like, "Well, can you do something?" And like just see if anything happens.
And it kind of walks in a circle a couple times, walks towards the crack, and then looks at you, and then in your mind you hear the same thing, Viola. Just psychically in your head, it's just saying that word over and over.
I go, Viola.
And as you say the name of the boy, where are you looking?
I'm imagining I'm looking. It's by the. I'm gonna call it a she. She's
Okay.
by the crack in the wall, right?
Okay.
So I'm looking at her.
All of us, as you say the name, everybody else, just roll a wisdom saving throw for me. Okay.
Oh boy.
Even better.
My wisdom save is +0.
Good. I was worried it
Is
was
this-
going to.
Is this Viola's DC? Should I write this down? Or
Yes.
okay.
So it will be 13.
Okay.
And because you both have failed that, you're not even looking at Viola at first, but you just feel like this terrifying aura radiating from it for a moment, and you look at it, and it's just a purple salamander. Nothing like weird. It's just got like a happy little face, but it is terrifying to look at now for some reason.
I turn towards the salamander. I let out a scream, and then I turn back to my wood boy, and I'm like, "Oh no!" And then this is Brooks raising his hand for
Yeah.
the teacher. How comes I said my boy's
Did you say
name?
the? Yeah, I didn't hear you say
when
the
I
boy's
when
name.
I started talking to him, I like literally turned to him. He's like, "Hey, Purif, what are your powers?"
I did not hear that. That is why nothing happened. So let me just whip
So,
that back. a
ignored by God again, I guess.
little. Okay, let me whip that back as that's happening. Well, right before that happens, I'm gonna give you your bit. Okay, so
we can just retcon it to where I
you want to edit it?
I turn towards the salamander. I let out a ah! And then I turn back to my boy. I'm like, Purif, are you seeing this shit?
And as you say, Purif, you're just looking directly at the boy. Correct?
Yes.
Let me just hold on. I need the notes. Okay, here we go. I got to figure out what that power does. Okay, so as you're looking at Purif, he starts to glow like a bright white. Like it's like a very divine kind of light.
This can't possibly be good.
But nothing else happens. It's Purif is just looking at you like, what do you want from me?
Do we see his real human teeth? No.
He has not opened his mouth yet. It's strange.
Wait,
Hold on. Let me roll for.
There's going to be a
Purif.
lot of build up to that.
Purif has screamed at seeing Viola, and there's like 3 human teeth in there,
Oh no! It's like an odd number.
just on the top.
It's an odd number for an odd boy.
I like if there would be like 2 on the bottom and 1 on top though.
yeah.
'Cause then that
But yeah,
I don't
that's
know,
what you're
that'd be creepy.
expecting.
It's
you
not
bagged
like
on me.
it's not like center, like front and center or anything. It's like they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's like 2 molars and 1 like canine tooth.
I don't like that.
I guess I'm just gonna look at X-Spin and go, X-Spin?
Is X-Men still in the crack?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So as you say X-Spin, it kind of like shudders a little bit, and then you see like what starts out as like little firecracker noises, and then they kind of expand rapidly to a not a large explosion, but it's about half of a grenade. Is that like impressive but not devastating?
I think
I mean-
so, yeah.
It makes a bigger hole in the wall, is what I'm trying to get.
Okay, good.
Not big enough for everybody to get through yet, but like if you,
Are you
well,
sure?
well,
I'm really
yeah.
yeah, Roscoe could get through it. I don't know if Locke could.
Purif, do you think you could get through that?
He looks at it, kind of does like a little pulls himself up into the hole and crawls through into it.
Good boy.
Then he's waiting for you though.
Just keep going. Like find an exit and like then get us out of here.
I could go through.
Okay, take the
Yeah.
boys with you in case there's like some fuckery going on out there.
I mean, couldn't he just try to blow a bigger hole in the wall? Like, there's not a limit to these powers, right? Like Viola?
I mean, I honestly don't know.
Did you just guess Viola again? On what? Did you just point to Viola again?
Yeah, I was like, Viola?
Again, it is another terrifying thing to look at. It like
I
calmed
am-
down after you
I
looked away.
am not looking at that fucking lizard.
You can feel it.
I can
Oh,
feel
man.
the lizard's wet aura
Gaze,
all
aura, yeah.
over me, and I am not looking at that fucking lizard.
It's not a lizard, it's a salamander.
I'm sorry.
I guess I'll try it. X-Spin.
And it does the same exact explosion thing, and now it's enough for everybody to kind of
Perfect.
walk through.
Okay, nice.
Now the question was, Purif still in that hole?
Was Purif still in that hole? I believe so.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought about that.
Yo,
but I wasn't
Purif,
gonna
you
say
okay?
anything.
Purif has definitely been knocked back a bit. Roll this twice. All right, that's good. Go ahead again.
and 4.
Okay, so
What's Purif's HP?
should be on that index card I gave you.
Mine is just blank for AC and HP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
mine is too.
What did I write down for that? HP is 2d6 plus 4.
Okay.
So everybody quickly do that for real quick. We'll just cut out this dead air. So 10.
Cammy the D6.
And the AC is what?
Good.
Well, that's what I just took away. Yeah, jeez.
Plus 4.
ACS.
10.
I think it depends on the size. Just put 12. Everybody gets 12 AC for their boy. All right, so
yeah,
you guys
what was
rolled
this?
all your.
Upperclassmen.
Yes. And so Purif lost how many points?
5.
Oh, that's half of his HP.
Yeah. Well, you can see that Pure is well, for lack of a better term, he ain't feeling too hot. He's not funky fresh right now.
Oh, I cradle my scary wooden son in my arms, and I'm like,
He's not dead.
well, I still cradle him, and I'm like, that was a close one. Like, you better hope that nothing like that happens. Knock on wood, and then I knock on him, and then I turn to you
man.
guys, and I'm like,
He did not find that funny.
don't worry. When you know the outside world, you'll get the contect.
He
and
kind of
you'll laugh at
like
it.
half-heartedly kind of like punches you in the chin a little bit. Like it
Aw.
doesn't do any damage. He's like, eh.
Oh, like yeah, you too, slugger. And then I like do like a little like fun
Noogie.
like yeah, not really a noogie, but like a fun like half like punch on the chin.
I think even a half punch is a little too much.
A 1/16 punch, like one that's just like a.
So and you're just carrying him out. Like,
Yes.
You guys are walking through the whole.
Do either of you have healing spells?
No.
I
no?
mean, probably.
Could you heal my boy?
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was kind of my fault.
Yeah, yeah, it really was.
You're just now realizing. Yeah. Wait a minute. This could have been avoided.
This could have been easily avoided.
Oh, I do have a spell book.
So as you're all like walking
No, I
through the
don't.
hole, it's a bit of darkness at first, but the fact. Oh, you don't have any healing spells?
Oh no, I haven't set up my spell book, so
I don't think
for Barrett.
wizards have healing spells. I think that's a cleric, druid, like bard thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, because again, I haven't
Do we
set
have
up
a
my-
cleric, druid, and or bard?
Nope.
No.
You got
No?
a sorcerer, monk, and a wizard.
Oh
This
no!
is not
Oh,
a
man.
good combination.
Oh no, it's not.
You got
Anyway,
two squishy blasters.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't like any of that.
So you all get into this separate cave. It seems like there is one big stream in the middle of it, and you have to walk along I'm going to say 5-foot wide little pathway, bunch of stalagmites, stalactites leading all the way, and like far in the distance, you can see a little ray of light
I walk
through
towards
some
it.
greenery.
I make a perception just in the area.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna make perception as
10.
well.
I can't see what that is. That isn't. Got it.
That is going to be plus 0.
Okay.
I easily caved to peer pressure, so I'm gonna roll, and that would be a 17.
Okay. So, you two don't really see anything out
That's
of the
right.
ordinary. But what Bareth notices is that the way the clearing looks and the same greenery, it's very similar to how it looked when you were entering near the waterfall. It seemed like those flowers that are growing right there are very similar to the same purple flowers that were growing by the waterfall before. Because yes, there were. Don't fact check me on that.
We just exchanged some very intense looks.
Yes, we did.
I don't think the flowers are there. Don't listen to Zach.
Well, you can tell by looking at it that this probably leads out by the
It
waterfall.
looks familiar.
Yeah.
I recognize it from when we entered.
Yes.
How large
cool.
is the opening?
The opening is enough for you to like squeeze your bird boy body through. Roscoe can easily like just fit through like, "Nyeh," but you gotta wiggle a little bit.
How does
I
Bareth
do
fit?
so.
You know, the half orc.
Yeah.
I
The
think you're gonna
biggest
need
one.
another lemon lime surprise in there. Just make
So-
sure we clear out of the way.
Yeah, I was
first.
about to say. So you walk all the way down to this little stream where it kind of tapers off to the side, and there's the light little bit of greenery. It's like a little hole that leads out into the light. And imagining Roscoe goes through.
Yeah, I'll go through with Viola.
Viola and Roscoe just easily like climb through, like they're both creatures of the salamander variety. Locke kind of just
I just do a little shimmy,
does like a little army crawl
little
thing,
shimmy and a little shake.
following right behind. Or are you putting your boy in front of or behind you?
I don't know what's out there, so I'm gonna send myself first, and then have the boy
Okay.
then come through.
Okay, and then we go to Expin and Bareth.
And
just
like I just
standing
want to make sure I take the boy and both himself and myself. I make sure a plenty distance away from the
Yeah.
opening.
there. Right.
Just clarifying that.
Okay. And Bareth.
I'm gonna look at it and think, I can probably squeeze through that. I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
I guess a strength. Oh,
All right.
nat 20.
So as you were going for it, like you thought, I can definitely use another explosion for this. But as you put your hand up, it like the mud and the grass kind of give away a little bit. And you're like, oh, and you start kind of clawing away at it, and it is just you're digging through this like it's sand, like the top level of sand on a
Nice.
beach, and you just
Nice.
make your way through, and X-Men just follows right behind you, just a little floating lemon lime that I cannot get over. But you all make it to the other side, and you see the caved in entrance with a lot less waterfall kind of trickling down all over it, and in the distance there is Giuseppe's shack, which is now overgrown with a lot of grass and other vegetation,
I turned to them. I'm
and
like,
kind of dilapidated. a
I
bit.
turned to them. I'm like, I think some time may have passed.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it.
How long were we in that fucking cave?
I mean, it didn't feel very long,
No,
but
then-
judging by this, I would say quite a few years.
I'm sensing some magical fuckery.
Quite a few years.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
I'm gonna roll. What would I roll?
Well, as you're rolling to find out what time, like how much time has passed, you notice that all the fields that were like kind of well cut, trimmed, and harvest are kind of like grown to, that weird neighbor's lawn proportions. Not much time you think has passed. Like there's probably some magic that
I'd say I think some magic may have. You can tell by the length of the grass over here in the fields that it hasn't been cut for a week. And so I think we spent at most 7 days in there, like
Oh.
with thanks to
I don't-
some
I don't-
magic.
I don't think that's right.
Do you think it's like less? Or?
And Roscoe, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to guess how much time has passed, or do you want to? I don't.
I want to go explore the dilapidated shack.
Okay, so you make your way, kind of forcing all this grass that is a little bit taller than you out of
Yeah,
the way.
hold on, do I have a... I'm gonna imagine, I'll have my dagger out, and I'm like chopping through grass like I'm going through the rainforest right now.
Oh, okay. So you make your way to Giuseppe's shack, and same thing. Like the pathways have not changed. The pathway leading up to his house actually seems like it's well kept. Like somebody has been pulling weeds from it. But the fence has fallen apart. The shack itself has like a bunch of broken windows. Like some people have tried to ransack it. It's been looted. But how close are you getting up to the shack?
I want to go like to the front door and go
Okay,
inside.
and as you approach like the front door, you can see that it is still closed. Kind of like the door is kind of hanging off of its hinges a bit, but it's still closed. And on the front step is a little note with just like some old bread. It seems like it was placed there not years ago, but maybe a couple days, and with a little note on it that says "Come back," and it's folded, and like there's probably a little note on the inside if you want to pick it up.
Yeah, I'll read it.
And it's just a note listing like, hey, where did you go? We still kind of need you. Things are getting worse. You can always come back to Tavalia. We always need your help. T.
Do we know anyone in the town with a T?
Wasn't the like bartender named Teresa?
Tanya. Yeah.
Tanya.
Tanya. It was probably Tanya. Like also like I'm just kind of like experimenting a little, like because like Roscoe was the one who went up to the shack, so I imagine I was kind of off to the side with Purif, and I like kind of like backed up a little, and then I'm like, Purif.
Oh, and You're pointing to Purif as you say that?
Yeah.
He glows again, very bright divine light.
Are you feeling any better?
He's still kind of just like holding his side, just shakes his head no.
All right, so
And-
it's not a
but he's
healing
still
thing.
glowing very brightly though.
Okay, so it's not a healing thing.
No.
I take the bread with me,
Okay.
and like I'm hungry. I'm a halfling. I haven't
Okay.
had breakfast in a while.
It ain't good bread.
How many
Yeah.
breakfasts have you missed so far?
Well, if we're going through like a lot of years, that's a lot of breakfast.
At least 365. Maybe. I don't know.
We're not. No, that's like only half for a year.
Wait, what?
Haven't you heard of second breakfast?
I have now.
And then brunch.
Of course.
And then lunch.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I take it. I'm gonna soak it in some water. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Like,
Yes, wet bread.
So, do either of you two want to do anything here at the disheveled
I
shack?
imagine Is there anything else around other than the
On the
shack?
outside, no. I mean, if you go inside, maybe.
Okay. I'll take a look. Inside.
Did we take a road from Tavalia to
Yes.
to here? How far is the road from the shack?
From the shack, you can see in the distance the cliffside that, like, because you came off of a cliffside into the field, and you can see where it leads up onto the cliffside again. So you
Alright.
can find your way back to Tavalia if you want.
So would it only take me a few minutes to go up there and check out like the state of the road and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna just fly up there, check that out. I'm gonna see like maybe get a better idea of how many
Roll a perception
days.
for me.
you want to get a bird's eye view, right?
Get a bird's eye view. Yes.
Wait. What are you rolling for? Are you trying to see how much time has passed again, or are you just trying to
Just
get a
trying
bearing?
to like I want to observe the surroundings.
Okay.
See like what condition the road is in, and see like
Okay.
how like maybe try to guess how long it's been since anyone's like traveled on it or like maintained it.
Okay. Because if you're trying to see that specifically, the road, it's going to be an investigation. If you're trying to see what's around you, perception.
Can I do both? Because I kind of like I'm getting a bird's eye view and everything.
All right, go ahead and roll. We'll see. We'll see. If you roll high enough, I'll say it both worked. Both did not work.
The roll was a 7, and then which one am I adding?
Perception.
Perception. So it's a 7 total.
What would it be if it was investigation?
Be a 6.
Okay, so looking at the road, you go, yeah, this is the road we were on before.
Mhm.
I know that this road leads back to Tavalia. This is going to be good. Okay, I'll let the other guys know. Like,
Do I see anything like in the
you see
immediate
trees
surroundings?
and
Trees
a mountain,
and a mountain.
a path that goes up into the mountain, and of course, there's like the sign that's like, hey, Tavalia this way.
What state is the sign in?
What state is this? For some reason, I thought you said, what state is the sun in? And I'm like, Brooks?
Minnesota? No, but like what's the state of, like how old or like
It looks like the sign was planted there and just left, like an old wooden sign. I don't think it decayed.
very little information. Got it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I
it's-
just descend back down to the shack.
Okay.
And everything.
And then,
the trees
Barren.
that are around are any of them like fruit bearing trees, or are they like
roll survival.
Okay.
See if you can find any of that fruit on them trees.
well that's not
Is that a nat 1?
Yes, it is.
None of these trees are helpful at all.
Are
Like-
these trees? I'm not sure.
You're sure that some of them are probably dead
I was gonna say he finds
in this lush forest full of greenery? Nah, magic is probably keeping
lot
these
of dead
dead.
ones. Lot of dead
I was
trees.
gonna say if it was a survival nat 1, like he found some fruit,
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
but that's your discretion since you're the DM.
Yeah.
You're looking for fruit? I have some bread. You want the bread?
No, I was just looking in case.
And I just
Okay.
try to take a big old chomp out of this.
Yeah.
After you
Did,
take
did you take a big chomp out of that bread?
I tried, yeah. Or
I want you to roll that constitution for me. I want to
Oh,
see if
boy.
you can enjoy that bread.
I'm guessing the answer is probably not.
Well, we're going to see. Hey.
That's a 19.
Hey, you've had worse. You've had a lot worse. This bread is like, you're hungry, so this is some pretty good. They say hunger is the best spice.
It reminds me of my auntie.
After you take a big chomp out of it, Locke sort of like flies down, lands next to you, and everything. He's like, "Are you offering any of that bread?"
thought birds weren't allowed to eat bread. It was bad for their stomachs. That's
No,
what I
like
heard.
I'm part duck, so it's fine. You just take I just need you to like rip off like a little piece and throw it on the ground for me. What?
Okay, I've done this at a park, but I thought ducks weren't supposed to eat bread.
I mean, like, if that's the case, I am fucked.
All right. I mean, not as bad as alcohol, but all right. And yeah, I take a piece off and toss it.
Are you gonna eat that gross moldy bread?
Yes, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to like do like a little like chicken peck on it.
Okay. Go ahead. Let me
So
see
it's a
that.
Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it. A Constitution check or save?
Check.
Okay, so that's gonna be 16.
All right. So you eat and you're like, I'm glad I have bread. I'm a duck, and this is good for me.
No, I'm part duck on
You're
my
part-
mother's side.
I'm gonna hurt you. Okay. So after all that, do you guys want to check out the shack anymore? Or should I move you along that path?
I mean, I'm
Because
kind of ready for more food.
Oh,
better food.
you gonna share the note with them?
Yeah.
Just so now you all know that.
And like I look at it and I'm like, I can't read. I hand it to the I'm keeping it consistent from episode to episode. Last episode I also could not read.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's interesting. I have nothing else to say. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, wasn't the barmaid's name Tanya?
Yeah.
Although T could also refer to Valia in general, like a collective, because it's like a lot of we and everything in the note.
Right.
So.
I mean,
Maybe.
I suppose it could.
Or it could be like a Timothy.
Maybe
I mean,
it could be
com-
it could
somewhat
very
completely
easily
unrelated.
You
it
all are
could very
discussing this
easily
as
be a
you're walking
person.
along the path.
Like we only knew the guy for like
Yeah,
a day. So
yeah, it
like,
could
would
very
be-
easily be someone we've never met before.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious. How is his state of drunkenness? Because I imagine he's not and is going through some horrible withdrawal effects.
Why are you asking?
'Cause
I'm curious.
to be honest, we haven't drank in like a while. At
Possibly years.
least- or in your case, a week. So we have a week to many years.
And like so I'm just like, oh, speaking of which, I am pretty thirsty, and I sort of like pat myself down looking for the flask, and it's not there. I just have a moment like internally. I don't say this out loud, but internally I'm like, it's escaped. And then I go back to acting normal.
And you're all just still casually walking along this cliffside. You start to go around the bend of the cliff, and you can see off in the distance there is a village, and it's bustling with activity. You remember Tavalia when you left it? It was just a very dingy little, hardly anything
Do you
in
mean
this
dingy?
dingy little,
It was a cluster of just like buildings.
yeah, cluster buildings.
Dinghies.
Yeah, dinghies. That's
They
why
were
so
sailors.
cool. Yeah,
That's
They
why
settled the
do
I
land.
hate you all. But now you can see off in the distance, it is a huge city. There's a large clock tower in the center, buildings that look like have different roofing, so you have to imagine they all have their own special need.
Is this where Tavalia was?
It
From what we remember?
Yeah, from what you remember, that is where Tavalia was.
Oh shit, they got a lot done in a week.
I think it might have been more than a week.
And
it
as
was
you
definitely
say-
more than a week.
As you say that, everybody roll initiative, because up from above, on the top of a cliffside, you hear, "Ha ha! Travelers, I see, with loot, no doubt."
So 15 plus 3 is 18.
Okay. Let me just write down these initiatives real
Yeah.
quick. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. You said, hold on. I hate all this. 18. Anybody have higher than 18?
I have a 21.
Okay. So we got 21 for Roscoe. 18 for Locke. And
15.
15 for Baron.
You spelled it wrong.
I'll spell it however I need to spell it
The
to
A
get
comes
through
before
this
the E.
day. Okay. All right. and from above you see a man sliding down this cliffside with a rapier in hand, a bandana across his forehead, and not covering up his hair. He has a waft of brown hair that kind of like slicks back, and think every cliche Robin Hood archetype you can.
Oh, great! It's one of these. Locke says that. That's not Brooks. That's
Okay.
Locke. That's Locke saying that out loud.
It is I, friends. Surrender all your belongings, or you shall suffer an end to James Thug.
I'm. Yeah, wait. Stop the fucking train.
Okay.
What is your name again?
Aha! I see you have heard of me. From all out of Tavalia and even past the reaches, I am known as James Thug. Plunderer of roots, stealer of treasures,
Okay. Can you give us like a sec?
swooner of women,
Okay, thank you.
lover of animals,
I mean, that's a noble quality.
brawler of boys,
Wait,
Okay.
destroyer of...
wait. Did he just say? He said
He's
brawler of
clearly
boys.
run out of things. Can we huddle for a second? Can we huddle, please?
Yeah.
All right.
I think this guy's completely full of shit.
Yeah, I'd say we just kind of walk around him.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think he's gonna actually do anything.
yeah, like I feel like he like probably like borrowed that sword from like his
It's
dad or something.
Probably like a
What's your
children's toy.
AC?
My AC is 13.
Okay, can you hand me that dice? Thank you. You take 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage.
Yeah, as James Thug kind of lunges at you, because your back is turned to him, you decided to huddle up, and he gets you like right in the shoulder, right in the
Like, okay, so it goes through me, and I basically I don't react. I turn to him. I'm like, excuse me, sir.
Aha! Plenty more where that came from.
Oh,
Cur.
I cast Chill Touch on him.
Did you roll that nat 20? Because I didn't.
No,
Okay.
I didn't. But
I was like, no.
I think. Shit, I should have looked this up. I create a little ghostly skeleton hand,
Okay.
and so all right. So I have to roll a hit. I don't hit.
You don't know that.
6 plus 5.
You don't hit.
Okay, that's what I thought. So my skeleton hand comes out to slap him, and I guess.
And he expertly dodges it, whipping the rapier in front of him, going, I see! Many are versed in the magical skills, but none have beaten James Thug!
oh, I'm sure. I'm going to make an attack now. I'm going to make an unarmed strike. I
Okay.
assume I'm next because I'm 18
Yeah.
initiative. All right, can you hand me the nat 20?
I mean, the
The
D20.
D20.
Well,
I
now
mean,
you gotta follow it up.
I'm
Okay,
fingers crossed.
I don't trust you with this dice anymore.
Yeah.
But-
by the way,
Yeah?
yeah, you are the only one who seems to roll really well with it.
I did get that nat 20 earlier.
All right, so I'm going to be,
Yep.
because I am a monk doing an unarmed strike, I'm going to add my
Dexterity?
my dexterity
Okay.
to the attack roll and everything, and then if it hits, I'll be able to do that for the damage roll as well. All right, that's fair.
Okay, so
nat 1.
You go to throw a punch at the James Thug because you want to just see that smug wiped right off of
I
his
want that
face.
smug thug, in the ground.
And you throw a punch, and you see he just kind of like whips the rapier right at your knuckle, kind of like whips
Ah!
it. And it's like, haha! No monk can mutilate me, James Thug.
Can you stop that, please?
Never. And
Barrett, can you please kill this person?
I mean,
it is your
It-
turn.
okay. So I'm gonna cast Charm Person.
Okay.
He needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I'm going to go on a limb
What
and
does he
say
need to
that's
be?
not his strong
10.
suit.
Okay. Good. So you say some nice, sweet. Well, how do you try to charm him?
I don't think I've ever had a role play of Charm Person. Oh boy.
Okay. Well, what do you say? You have to say something to initiate the charm. I imagine.
What's your vocal point for
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
charm person?
Wow, you're a lot stronger than I thought you were.
And that's what you say.
Oh yeah.
Backhanded compliments get you nowhere with James Thug.
Ah, shit, he saw right through me.
And then he makes an attack, and whiffs like right past your ear. almost nicks it, but you're just like,
I was wrong. It turns out you weren't strong at all. I wish only I had.
that hurt his pride by 1d4.
That's a really high number, though, so
Yeah,
it's
no.
not going to be anywhere.
And now it is Roscoe's turn again.
Alrighty. I want to try to use Viola's power on him, so I want to point at him and go, Viola.
Okay, you point at James Thug
Yeah.
and say Viola. So that aura that would always appear on Viola when you said that now has appeared on James Thug.
Oh my god.
You
he's
pointed
so
at him,
Terrifying.
And now, just mechanically, for the rest of this round, anybody who is making... nobody can move toward him for this turn because you
Don't
are
we have
all...
to do a save, though?
It,
If we're
oh, yeah,
super
yeah,
frightened?
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. If anybody's attacking him, you have to roll a wisdom saving throw first. You immediately see through it. You cast Viola on James Thug and went, that's what that does. Note to self, don't do that again.
Well,
You do not want to get near him. You're like, oh, it's just like the salamander.
I know. I can feel it's wet.
it's a wet slime. And you brush it off as I've already seen this with the boy before. I know that this is this again. Good.
You don't like wet things because you're a bird.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta keep your feathers dry.
Yeah, that's the hawk part from my dad's side. It's got conflict with the duck part. Anyway, I'm going to. Can I still look at him? Or
Yeah, you just
okay.
can't attack him because that's what.
You can't approach him.
All
when
right,
you're
that's
frightened.
fair. That's fair.
I mean, imagine he could make a wisdom saving throw to then try to break the frightened state.
Okay.
So
would that be my whole action doing that saving throw, or
I believe yes, and then your bonus
Yeah.
action would be to attack because he's a monk. He can make it.
well, like I okay, yeah. So I'll
Okay.
do the wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
All right, so I'm like, I just kind of like, slap myself in the beak, and I'm like, okay, it's just the salamander power. James Thug is still just that.
James Thug notices you all, like, everybody, like, takes a moment to just, like, back away from him. He's like, I see! You all have recognized the power of me, James Thug.
I'm going to then follow Roscoe's lead, and I'm also going to conduct a little experiment. I'm going to look directly at James Thug and say, Purif.
His rapier starts to glow a holy light, as if the gods themselves have been like, here you go, bud. You get a little buff.
All
And
right.
James Thug looks at his sword and goes, this has not happened before. Truly it is a blessed day for I. James Thug.
Noted.
And and now it's Bear's turn. What do you Thank you, Liam, for that peanut gallery comment.
I'm gonna see that they try to use their boys, and I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, have it basically hide X-Spin, and just move it as close to James Thug as I can.
Okay.
And then when it's as close to him as it can get, I'm gonna say X-Spin.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Just because roll stealth or yeah.
I mean, I don't care if he sees it, because
Okay.
even if he sees the hand,
Yeah, he is gonna. Okay, go
I
ahead.
can
Just,
release it, and then X-Spin can get closer.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm what should I roll?
Just straight roll. As long as it's not in that one, you're good. Yeah,
Oh.
you're good. And James Thug sees the mage hand. And he goes, "Magical tomfoolery will not impede me, James Thug." And he swatches at it and dispels the mage hand. But X-Spin is now right in front of his face.
And then X-Spin.
Go ahead and roll 2d4. Or, yeah, 2d4 plus 3, I believe. 4.
That's 11.
That's 11 damage.
That's as much as I could get.
There was an explosion that happened right in his face,
Mm.
and he kind of like hits up against the cliffside wall, definitely bloodied and bruised, and he kind of does like one of those like wipes the blood from his mouth and goes, "So I see you are adventurers with boys, is it not true?"
No.
Well, I mean, obviously it is.
Yeah, I mean, what else would you?
Then
think
this
would be?
simple highway robbery will turn into a magnificent fight, for I, James Thug, will relieve you of your boys. And
You are not taking my wooden son.
and he points one hand up to the sky, and out of his sleeve, just like a big old centipede, kind of just like twirls around his hand, shoots off, and dives into the ground, and like melts into the ground like it's water.
Oh, that's his boy. That's probably his boy.
I'd say that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I think so.
And hold on, I'm trying to remember the name of that boy. Okay, wait.
David.
You solved the boy. You solved his boy. It's Dave. What
No,
was it?
David.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Don't call him Dave.
Don't call him a shorter name that's somehow one letter shorter.
So the centipede dives into the ground, and then he points at who's actually you hit him the hardest, and he points at you, and he says "Gronda," and you see the ground beneath you start to turn into quicksand, and then a sinking hole, like it just, and it starts to you get sunk halfway through, and you can't really move next turn, and you got just the worst case of sand wedgie.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that.
And then he readies his rapier at Locke, saying, "Do you wish to try to fight I, James Thug, once more?"
Yes, very much yes. I've never wanted anything more than that.
Okay, well, it's Roscoe's turn. But he was just taunting you.
I know.
All right, so I cast Ray of Frost on him. So it's a 9
Plus.
plus, I think. Was it 4 or was it 5? Pretty sure it was 5. Oh, God.
Well, one makes it hit, one doesn't.
It's the one that makes it hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the plus 5.
Okay, it is plus. Yeah, so what does Ray of Frost do?
I really need to do better at this. Gosh, fuck.
We'll cut out the dead air.
Oh, thank Christ.
That's what Brooks is here for. He does that well.
That is my job, yes.
Yes.
Are you guys liking this encounter so far?
I am. I like Locke very much does not like James Thug, but Brooks very much does.
Good. I want you to enjoy hating him.
I love James Thug. So he takes 5 points of cold damage, and his speed is reduced by 10 feet to the start of my next turn.
Okay. So that's your turn. Cold to the bone I may be, James Thug does not run away, no siree.
Is that a bit of fear that we heard at the end of that?
James Thug is still just readying his holy blade at you.
Okay, I'm like, fuck it. I look down at my fists and I say, Purif.
And your fists start to glow a bright white.
I run at him and I'm going to try to do an unarmed strike.
Okay.
Where's the D20?
It's right there.
Thank you.
How about you use it for once?
I'm going to use
Oh,
it
man.
now. Okay, plus 3 is going to
Okay.
be 13.
Are you
All
also
right.
adding your proficiency?
Do I do that along with the dex?
Yeah, it's literally just right there. That's your plus the hit.
Oh,
So it's plus 5.
okay, then 15.
Okay, then yeah, that hits.
All right, I haven't had to play a player character in a long time. And then as my bonus action, I'm going to try to do another unarmed strike.
Okay, go ahead and roll that second hit. See if you can get that good hit. Oh, you got a good hit.
That's a really
Okay.
good hit.
And then for your damage, also roll a d4 with each hit.
Okay.
Because that's what Purif does.
So is that going to be 2d4 for each hit?
No, that's going to be like 2d4 in total because you're doing 2 punches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. All right, so that's plus 2. So 6 plus, and then what's your regular fist punch?
It's 1d4 plus 3. So
Okay, yeah, then yeah, go. I thought it was a d6 for monks.
No, it's
Oh,
a
wait, that's
D4.
later.
It
That's
levels
yeah.
up. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
that's why I was
Okay,
asking.
yeah, I
and
didn't know
everything.
that.
So yeah, so that's 2 and then plus 3 for the thing. So it's 2,
11.
4, 2 plus 3. So
11.
11.
yeah.
All right. So you get like 2 really good solid hits on James Thug, and you can feel them connect.
Also, the second one was like a critical hit too. So
Oh yeah, so that one
Yeah.
doubles.
yeah,
So that good gut shot, like that good like how did you want to hit him?
I'm just gonna hit you in your. I'm gonna like I wanted to go for the gut shot first with my left, and like I just go in and like do like a really solid gut hit. And then
Okay.
because the second hit was the critical, that one is going right into his smug fucking face.
Okay.
And so it goes like a poof, and then there's like a whole like, moment of like him getting like, just reacting to it, like with the fist just staying there, and then just a poof, like with the
He's
right.
like, "Ugh," and then like
Yeah.
the moment as he's like having that
And there's like a
reaction
beat,
face is when-
there's a beat, and then the second punch into his face.
So as you punched him the first time, he was like, "A mere punch won't stop." And it's that second punch that you put a little chutzpah in, and just you knocked him so far back that he is like kind of teetering on the edge of the cliff, and he stops himself just before he falls off, and looks at you and says, "Vile cur, you think you have bested me, James Thug?
Yes.
We'll meet again, Gronda." And then like you see the cliffside turn into sand, and he falls. He falls gracefully, that you can tell, and he just disappears into the forest below. You just see like a quick little his face, which is starting to swell from that really good solid punch you gave him, and he just like fall like a backwards fall into sand into them trees, and he is gone. And
Forever.
What was that?
That was gonna be my question. Like, why did that happen?
Also, weren't like boys really rare?
I thought
When we
so.
left?
I mean, how did he get one? You know,
I mean, I guess he could have been someone who got one before and then used it to start robbing people.
maybe.
Yeah, I guess we can find out when we go back to Tavalia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
sounds good to me.
all right, and then I'm just gonna do this next bit, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this
We're at an hour and one. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So you make your way past through the rest of the trail, and you're a little bit more on guard because you're like, I don't want to see another thug-esque
I
villain.
hope there's not more boy bandits out here. Be bad.
They're called boy bands, just for short.
Okay.
Oh man.
That's groups of boy bandits, though.
No.
And you arrive to Tavalia, except instead of it just being, couple like stone walls guarding a regular little village, there are now these large and in charge granite monoliths that are like wrapped around this whole area, and you're kind of standing in the shadow of this great gate that opens into Tavalia. It is open, but like the arch of the gate is kind of you're in that
The portcullis.
yeah, thank you, the portcullis, and you can see a bunch of traders like exiting and a bunch of traders coming in, and on the inside of Tavalia you see it is bustling with activity. This is not the same town you have seen before.
Hey, everyone's not a drunk anymore. It's good.
Well, we don't know that.
There's too much success if everyone is like.
They
come
could
on.
all just be
Yeah.
functioning alcoholics.
Exactly.
But the ones we saw weren't.
Oh, that's a joke for us.
I know you weren't.
Oh no.
Well,
Okay, so hold on, we'll just cut all that out because it was mean.
yeah. So
But deserved.
I'm looking around and I'm like,
So Locke is looking around and
I'm looking around and I'm like, well, let's just go to the bar we were at before and see.
I figured that was going to be your suggestion.
All right, fuck you too, I
mean,
guess.
we also do have to give Tanya the 3 gold that wasn't given to her.
we
Right.
give her the 3 gold and that, and also that's
Oh
the
man, I
only
hope there's not interest.
that's the only building that we know, so we can see if it's changed or if it's still there or what they still serve and.
Yeah, there it is.
Look at it. There's a lot of bars in here. You can do a crawl.
And you say they weren't functioning alcoholics.
Well, it's because it's a city.
I mean, there's got to be some alcoholics still.
They're just not all alcoholics.
Just
they've
most.
they've upgraded to cocaine. That's how they got all this done in such a short amount of time.
I still don't think it's a week. So I'm.
Well,
I'm-
Locke
also
is
pretty
yet
sure-
to be proven wrong.
This is also Roscoe talking to Locke.
Will our adventurers find out if it has been a week?
No.
Will Locke stop being an alcoholic?
No.
Will Bareth actually learn how to care about this game?
Oh shit!
Find out next
He
week.
solved my not giving a shit puzzle.
Wait, this is a game?
Can James Thug survive next time?
I
I
hope
hope.
not.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I hope he dies a slow, painful death.
I wish this was a story about James Thug.
I hope he gets colon cancer.
I want you to know.
He'll get his own spin-off.
I want you to know that last roll he made as he was falling off the cliff was a performance check. He did not intend to fall. he meant to like slowly slide down, but he just kind of like back flopped, and he just went poker face it.
So he's just laying like in the woods somewhere.
You don't know.
just-
Maybe not. Maybe that was all part of his James Thug plan.
I like to think that he's been eaten by a bear at this point.
No, he's
that's
laying
what
there.
That's what Locke likes to think.
He's laying there. He's choosing to lay there because he's upset that he failed his performance. I ruined it.
But all right. And next episode, you guys will go into Tavalia, find Tanya, and who knows what else will happen then? Maybe
Hijinks,
Me-
indeed. I'm
maybe
sure.
a couple other people you'll meet. Maybe you'll find out what all these other buildings do here.
They're probably like
Maybe you'll
old
find out how
boys.
much time has passed. You want to take a guess?
Like 7 years.
Oh no.
Maybe. Okay, so that was D&D, boys.
All right.
Yay.
So my name is Brooks. You can find me. I'm most active on Twitter at Squeezy McCheesy. That's the easiest place to find me. Where can people find you, Zach?
You can find me at Brave Snuggles on Twitter. What about you, Spivey? Where can they find you?
Oh, they can find me at I am the Bradman on Twitter. I've never posted anything, so that's a fun one.
I don't have a Twitter. 'cause
What
I
do you
never-
have?
But where can people find you
They
then?
can find me on Steam as Cobra Hands.
Oh, that's
Nice.
a
We'll
good
play
one.
some games. We'll play some games with
Yeah.
you. The overall best way to contact us, if you wanna, tell us what you think about the show and the D&D episodes in particular, you can email us fbdpod@gmail.com. The Twitter account for the show is at fbdpod. And yeah, we also have a Patreon for 100 Years Productions in general. That includes this show, along with Noise Choice Boys, the show that Zach and Liam do together, the You'll Like 'Em podcast that Connor and Josh do together, and The Lion's Den, the newest addition to the little group, which is the video podcast that Josh has been putting together. And you can find all of these and some other fun stuff and back catalogs and everything on our YouTube channel, 100 Years Productions. I believe that's it for the plugs and everything. So, yeah. So I think we're good.
Cool.
I'm glad we get to have this time. Did you guys enjoy it?
I did enjoy it,
Yeah.
yes.
Spivey, did you enjoy it?
Why do you always assume that I'm the one who... Brooks does the same thing, just assuming that I don't enjoy myself during D&D.
Which is great because I never enjoy it and they never ask me. It's
See, you're
so-
lucky. See,
I
it's
asked the
obvious when I
group.
don't.
Why must you do this to me, Matt? I can never read you, and you're just confusing me more.
I know.
All right.